Hey everyone, Aaron Ritter here. I am LIMB-itless Outdoors. And today we're going to talk about tree saddles and tree saddle hunting. So this is my first year hunting out of a tree saddle. I was introduced to the concept of tree saddles a couple of years ago, and it seemed pretty new. And a few of the guys that I talked to were only doing a couple hours in the tree at a time. And I'm an elevated hunter kind of guy. I'm also the kind of guy that I might be in a tree an hour or so before the sun comes up, and I will stay up in that tree until the sun goes down. So when I was first introduced to tree saddles, it really didn't sound like a platform I wanted to hunt out of. But recently, maybe 3 months ago, I started researching it again. A buddy of mine, Andy Young, out of Southern Maryland, caught the bug, and we started doing some research. And what I'm finding is that some of the saddle design and the comfort of a saddle has people sitting in their saddle from dark to dark. So I did some research and I connected with the guys at Latitude Outdoors. Now, why Latitude Outdoors? Well, first of all, they're American-made product. And second of all, the owners are incredibly friendly. And from my experience, the customer service is amazing. And then third, and one of the most important aspects, is their design. They do have a traditional saddle that you can purchase, but they have a split panel system that has some ingenuity built into it that I believe is going to provide the most comfortable sit for my style of hunting. So I'm using the Method Austrialpine. Now, why the Austrialpine rather than the metal-free version? Again, I brought up the fact I'm a Navy dude. Over 10 years in special operations. I've spent a lot of time doing air operations, and I like the ability to have that secondary safety in my system if required and or desire. And with that Austrialpine buckle and metal connection, I'm able to incorporate a secondary safety on my rappel line if I choose to utilize it. So that's why I went with the Austrialpine. So today I don't want to get too deep into safety, which is my main topic today, or how to clean your gear or gear maintenance or inspecting your gear. That's going to be another video. But I do want to talk about overall safety for saddle hunting because it's near and dear to my heart. So I firmly believe, guys, that when you try a new piece of equipment or you obtain a new piece of equipment, especially when it's in reference to some type of a high risk activity, that you need to develop a plan and you need to practice that plan and get used to your equipment. And I'm going to tell a personal story on that. I've been hunting out of climbers for several years. My best friend and hunting partner, Michael Sims of Timber and Tines Outdoors, introduced me to Summit climbers a few years ago. And so I bought a Summit Viper because that's what he used, and it looked like a great stand, and it is a great stand. And when I first picked up my climber, we went out together, found a tree. He showed me how he rigged his climber and his gear to get in and out of the woods. He showed me how he rigged his climber and his equipment on the tree. He showed me how he climbed, and it looked great. And I trust Michael, and he's very methodical about that stuff. And so that's how I set up my climber, and that's how I did business on a tree. And what I found was for my style and area of hunting, my environments, the Summit was really big and bulky. It stuck out really far behind me. It was heavy. I didn't care for the load-bearing system on it. And I started researching lone wolf climbers. And I ended up purchasing one. Excuse me. Now here's where I made my potentially fatal mistake. Is I took it for granted that I had been using a Viper climber, a Summit Viper climber, for several years. And I thought, hey, a climber's a climber. So I picked up my lone wolf and I threw together rigging on it, and I grabbed my gear and I went out and I climbed a tree. And I chose the wrong tree. I chose a beech nut, which is incredibly hard tree. And I climbed that tree to hunting height of about 25 feet. And I'll be honest, I struggled getting up that tree. Both platforms, they didn't want to dig in correctly. And I didn't listen to the music. And when I say I didn't listen to the music, that's a skydiving term a friend of mine introduced me to. And we reference it as when you watch a movie, the movie changes as the scene change. And you can hear the music change. When something bad is gonna happen, there should be music playing inside your head saying, hey, this is probably a bad idea. Let's stop doing what we're doing. And all the way up that tree during my ascent, the music was changing and I didn't listen to the music. So I got to height and I was having a hard time being comfortable because my seat plate kept wanting to shift, my foot plate was shifting. And the smartest thing that I did was I decided to come out of that tree about 30 minutes before the sun went down, which is some of the best hunting, right? I was finally starting to listen to that music and I had an uneasy feeling and I wanted to have light, natural light around me and not a headlamp as I started to come down that tree. And consequently, folks, as I got turned around and I was on my elbows on that seat plate and the foot plate came off of my feet and it dropped all the way to the ground. And there I was, half my body on the seat, my lower half of the body dangling below the seat, and I was about 25 feet up in the air. Fortunately, I was only about a half mile into the timber, and I had a friend right up in the neighborhood, kind of out of where I was hunting. I was hunting in somewhat of a suburban / rural area, and he was able to come out and help me get safely down the tree. And yeah, I was able to pull my cell phone out of my thigh pouch on my pants and make a phone call with half of my body dangling off of that lone wolf seat plate. So I tell that story, gentlemen, or ladies, because climbing out of a tree stand, whether it is a ladder stand, a lock-on stand, a climber, or a tree saddle, it is a high-risk evolution. And some of you may not realize it, but hunters hunting out of some type of elevated position out of a tree is one of the most dangerous activities in the United States, and it actually has more incidents, accidents, injuries, and fatalities than skydiving. So I highly recommend that you take it serious and that you practice and you try to be as safe as you can. So here I am, I'm out on this tree. I've made a couple of ascents so far. So far I've been up to 15 feet, and I'm a guy that typically goes anywhere between 25 and 40 feet when I climb to hunt out of. It all depends on the environment, my cover, what my shot angles are, my shooting lanes are, and really how I feel at the time. Sometimes I like to be a little closer to the ground. If it's a super windy day, I'm gonna be closer to 20, 25 feet. If other factors come into play, I might go up to 40, and I'm super comfortable sitting at 40 feet all day long. But know your gear and have a plan, guys. So that's what I'm doing out here today. This is a great piece of kit. I'm gonna try to swing it around over here. I have the saddle here. Again, it's a two panel saddle, and if you order a kit from Latitude, man, their lineman belts are amazing. They're super lightweight all-plex line, and they have incredible lightweight carabiners that come on them. They're two-panel system. You have a panel clips and gear clips built into your rig. Their dump pouch is amazing. So this dump pouch is super lightweight, and in here I have my gear strap for around the tree, and once I get to height, I also have 40 feet of rappel line. I have my Mad Rock Safeguard descender in here. I have an extra carabiner, and I also have a carabiner with 40 feet of paracord on it, so that once I rappel out of the tree, I can pull my rappel line loose and bring it down to the tree. Guys, I can't talk highly enough about Latitude Outdoors. And again, if you have any questions about the gear, you can email them, you can hit them up on Facebook, and they're going to get back to you right away. They're just a great group of guys. I'm a single stick method kind of guy. Goes hand in hand with, I'm a single leg kind of guy. I'm a single stick kind of guy. So right now I'm using a modified API that has been cut down to 20 inches. And I pulled the cleat off and I put a Versa button on it. I put a custom paint job on it. And I'm using a 2-step aider with 17 steps in between. And I haven't perfected my climbing method yet, but I'm getting there, and I'm hoping that I can get things down to where I can obtain a minimum of 20 feet with no more than 4 to 5 shifts of gear as I go up the tree. So I'm gonna get that figured out throughout the day. And then I'm gonna shoot a climbing video for you guys. And then next week, I'm gonna be out in the marshy areas of Southern Maryland, Eastern Shore, calling Sitka elk with my black and green Phelps diaphragms, and hopefully bringing a nice stag or hind into archery range. So guys, thanks for stopping in and watching my video today. Again, I'm Aaron Ritter with Limitless Outdoors. Please find that subscribe button right there on your YouTube page and subscribe to my channel. You can find me on my Facebook and Instagram page at Limitless Outdoors. And again, if you have any questions on the Latitude Outdoors Method saddle, feel free to contact me, message me on any of my social media platforms, and or reach out to the guys at Latitude Outdoors, and keep a positive latitude. See you soon, guys.